Hey, sports card fans, it's John Wade, Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. It's time to take a look at the top 10 PSA baseball card sales on eBay for cards from the 1980s for March 2025. Now, if you watched my video a couple days ago on the top 10 eBay sales for cards from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, you'll remember that there were two cards of the same player, both sold by the same eBay seller from the 1970s that sold for crazy amounts of money. Well, in this month's top 10 list for the 1980s, that same player and the same eBay seller show up on this list as well. And beyond that card, there's a pretty good selection of players and years, including a few cards from the 1981 top set. So, without any further ado, let's get to the top 10 list. Number 10. We have this 1987 Leaf Barry Bonds in a PSA 10. This one sold on March 5th for $3,556. It was an auction. There were 32 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $3,067. The record high sale was $4,500 back in February of 2021 through eBay. There have been 646 copies graded a PSA 9, 106 have been graded a PSA 10. At number 9, we have this 1983 Topps Tony Gwynn in a PSA 10. This one sold on March 8th for $3,725. It was a best offer. Current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $3,517. The record high sale was $4,750 back in February of 2021 through a PWCC listing on eBay. There have been 6,153 copies graded a PSA 9, 745 have been graded a PSA 10. Now, there were two other significant 1983 Topps Tony Gwynn rookie card sales in March, both PSA 10 copies. The first one sold on March 23rd for $3,575, and then the second one sold on March 29th for $3,500. At number 8, we have this 1985 Leaf Kirby Puckett in a PSA 10. This one sold on March 23rd for $4,039. It was an auction. There were 37 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $3,811. The record high sale was $7,200 back in December of 2023 through REA. There have been 213 copies graded a PSA 9, only 25 have been graded a PSA 10. At number 7, we have this 1989 Topps Treated Tiffany Ken Griffey Jr. in a PSA 10. This one sold on March 31st for $4,049. It was an auction. There were 46 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $3,011. The record high sale, though, was $11,995 back in February of 2021 through a PWCC listing on eBay. There have been 1,528 copies graded a PSA 9, 345 have been graded a PSA 10. Now, there were two other significant 1989 Topps Treated Tiffany Ken Griffey Jr. sales in March, both PSA 10 copies. The first one sold on March 23rd for $4,048, and the second copy sold on March 16th for $3,700. At number 6, we have this 1981 Topps Rickey Henderson in a PSA 10. This one sold on March 27th for $4,100. It was a best offer. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $3,628. The record high sale was $4,320 in March of this year through Fanatics Collect. There have been 1,155 copies graded a PSA 9, only 103 have been graded a PSA 10. At number 5, we have this 1981 Topps Harold Baines in a PSA 10. This one sold on March 25th for $5,100. It was an auction. There were 35 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is this sale at $5,100, as it represents a new record high sale for a PSA 10 copy. The previous high was $3,600 back in October of 2022 through Golden. There have been 773 copies graded a PSA 9. Only 44 have been graded a PSA 10. At number 4, we have this 1986 Topps Traded Tiffany Barry Bonds in a PSA 10. This one sold on March 23rd for $6,875. It was an auction. There were 57 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $6,175. The record high sale, though, was $16,000 back in February of 2021 through eBay. There have been 1,488 copies graded a PSA 9. 454 have been graded a PSA 10. At number 3, we have this 1981 Topps Kirk Gibson in a PSA 10. This one sold on March 23rd for $8,885. It was an auction. There were 33 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $8,515. The record high sale was $9,900 back in August of 2022 through Heritage. There have been 346 copies graded a PSA 9. Only 18 have been graded a PSA 10. At number 2 is the card and the player, actually, that was featured twice in the top 10 from the 1970s, Manny Sanguian. This one is his 1980 Topps card in a PSA 10. This one sold on March 28th for $10,000. It was a best offer. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 prior to this record high sale was $15 back in March of 2014 through eBay. There have only been 23 copies graded a PSA 9. This PSA 10 is one of only 3. And at number 1 for the 1980s for March 2025, this 1983 O-Pee-Chee Tony Gwynn in a PSA 10. This one sold on March 23rd for $26,990. It was an auction. There were 53 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $25,420. But this sale here at $26,990 represents a new record high for a PSA 10 copy. The previous high was $26,840 back in September of 2024 through Golden. There have been 348 copies graded a PSA 9. Only 36 have been graded a PSA 10. Well, there you go. The top 10 PSA baseball card sales on eBay for cards from the 1980s for March 2025. As always, would love to know in the comments what you think about the cards that made this month's top 10 list. And with that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.